Another day, another notice board. This one is way out. At, was it Castel Ravello Vineyard? I believe you'll remember this as being the place where we checked the basement, I think? Yeah, we checked this guy's wine cellar. We were trying to find out which one was hollow because he sold it off. This was the earlier story mission. He's got a notice board of his own, and we're trying to find out what we can find around here for little diversions and side content before we go down the path of the final bit of main story. I haven't come up with a super decisive way about how I'm going to handle certain parts of the main story, but one of my goals is to eventually do like at least a huge percentage of the main game's random side quests that I never got around to, and I want to complete every little Gwent mission and stuff like that, and maybe even try to take out all the Hanses and stuff like that. I think that stuff is going to wait till later. I think right now I'm going to do all of this expansion side quest, then do all of this expansion story, and we'll have our nice big finale. And we'll close the book on the definitive main content of Witcher 3. And then, from then point on, when I have a chance, I hope I'll have time to do like a series that is me wandering the countryside and doing all these random things that I never got around to the first time in my first 160 episodes or whatever the hell we're at that point. Point is, game's big, and I'll see what I get around to. But for now, we'll do the side content of this game followed by its story. Travelers beware. If you aim to travel, avoid the road through Fox Hollow. The Toussaint caves have become infested with crooks, led by a shady individual known as Loth Halfbreed. Bypassing that area is strongly advised, unless accompanied by a well-armed escort. Organizing an expedition. Anyone who desires glory and fame is invited to join me at the Grand Place on the 17th of this current month. I plan to set out in a good company and in search of adventure. We are sure to encounter many damsels in distress and have ample opportunity to help the oppressed. Tierman de Brard. I don't think that guy understands how the wilderness works in any capacity. Ladies, keep an eye on your men. Consider yourselves warned. At the top of the Lynx Crag dwells a witch who muddles with menfolk's minds. I don't know what sorcery the trollop uses, but ever since my husband visited her, he's changed beyond recognition. Beware the witch of Lynx Crag, a concerned wife. How much you want to bet it's not even a witch, it's just an affair. Storyteller. I tell fairy tales. For a modest fee, I'll visit your home and tell a story about anything you request. I know how to amuse children, but I can also spin yarns to entertain adults. Invite me, and you shall see. Listening to a good story can make your life's hardships easier to bear. Arcadius. Be warned. Beware Catherine Manor. Don't even get close. A kind stranger. Part of me is amused by the idea of just thinking that one story was just about a witch. The witch was just somebody that the husband's having an affair with, but it seems totally realistic that it probably is some kind of special being, just like how this one probably is. Because these usually add a mark to my map, and that usually means that it's something a little bit witchery. Monster den or guarded treasure, usually. Needed. Master Magicer. I need a hard-hined man who won't spill his sphincter at the sight of sorcery, and can give a witch a good feckin' hiding if it comes to it. You'll find me chopping wood near Fox Hollow. My name's Jacob, and chopping wood's what I'll do. All you poop for brains feckers who think you're jesters, I'm warning you, jesting's over. Jacob, woodcutter of Fox Hollow. Now that's going to be fun to follow up on, I think. Alright. A Knight's Tales. Talk to Jacob the woodcutter. Who is surprisingly local, it would appear. Oh. He is literally right outside. I guess it makes sense. People probably wouldn't want to run very far. So a lot of people can probably be expected to be posting their job wantings relatively nearby rather than at major population centers, because transportation in itself could be a hardship. Or so goes my interpretation. It's also rather convenient to pick up a quest and then realize that you're like 100 paces away from it. Where are you, Mr. Woodcutter? This nice hot day with blue skies and green floors. Seriously, this expansion is so damn colorful. Oh, yep. Lumberjacks. He's got to be around here. Ooh, crowded little area. Did I save this place at some point? Whenever I see a crowded little camp like this, I always think I saved it somehow, and then it was previously covered in 17 necrophages or something. Until I burned out a nest and everyone went on hunky-dory from there.
Poked. You must hang on, milady.
What? Did a woman get turned into a wolf?
You, Jacob?
Heel, Moholt. Down. Who asks?
A witcher. Saw your notice.
Hold up. A witcher, you say? Like in Luis Herrera's Tales and Fables. Luckier than a green bleeding leprechaun I am. See, not a soul around believes this tree is Daphne, the cursed lady of legend. But you could lift the curse.
Bit too old to believe in bedtime stories, aren't you?
Want your chops busted, Witcher? How old I am, that is none of your poking concern.
Fair point. Not my business what you believe either.
Ha! I'm content we see eye to eye.
So what makes you think there's a girl cursed inside the tree?
Well, I came out with my dog Moholt to cut her down. Axe in hand, a broad swing I took. The edge burrowed deep in her trunk, and bum-botch me if blood didn't spurt forth. My jaw dropped in the dirt. But right then I knew. Every jot of it in the tale of Daphne, Gareth, and the Witch of Lynx Crag.
Don't tell me. From Herrera's Tales and Fables.
You porking bet. Second edition. Amended in octavo. I know those tales by heart. My nan read them to put me to sleep.
Guess she read it cover to cover, colophon included.
Well, there's a point of content. There's a repeating point. The Witch of Lynx Crag. That's actually correlating with other notes we were hearing about how many of these things are actually around.
Got me curious, gotta admit. You really think the old tales are true?
Taking the weepy, are you? Do you think me balmy?
No, it's just these are dark, grim times. No room for knights pure of heart or happily ever afters. So I don't often run into folk like you.
Yes, true, the times are crud pie. But I see this as all the more reason to remember the tales. My gran would say, if you know not what to do, think to the chessboard knight and noble Alondra, and the path they would choose. She schooled me so thorough in it, I could not do otherwise even if I wished to.
Let me take a look at the tree.
Careful now.
We're not even gonna acknowledge the friendly wolf? Who's your puppy?
Swear I hear sobs in the rustling leaves.
Morholt. That's cool. We actually get to see an up close look at this character model. So we never really got to look very close at this thing. It's always trying to murder me. It's a fairly well-rendered wolf, I think. Obviously, it's got the slight anime hair to the spikes of the mane. That's usually a necessity to make something have fur, but have it be able to move properly as a character model, is to have the series of two-dimensional overlapping hair areas.
Actually does bleed. Looks like human blood too. And the bark resembles hypertrophic scars in places. Medallions humming like crazy. Intense magic at work here.
Could be magic. Doesn't have to be a human necessarily. Could just be... Oh. Definitely hear the sobs, but are the sobs from the tree or the wolf? Honestly, the wolf's the one giving me off sound waves, but I think that's the panting. Why is there blood over here, though?
Blood. Seeped from the direction of the tree, judging by the shape of the stain.
Doesn't go off anywhere? Or is there a trail after all? What's the deal here?
Logger was making good time. Strange, though. Willow's isolated. No other trees near it.
So they're taking a different path, but they jumped straight to this one, weirdly. Oh yeah, there's the sound waves going off. So we're hearing sound coming from it, and it's bleeding. Evidence towards magic at the very least, if not a woman. We'll find out.
And? Did you look at the tree close?
Actually does bleed. Pretty incredible. Looks wondrous.
Did I not say so?
Willing to help, but first I gotta figure out where to start.
No need. I know it all. Miss Daphne and Sir Gareth shared a terrible and fearsome love for each other. Yet to prove himself worthy of her hint, Gareth was to face the Witch of Lynx Crag. Before Sir Gareth set off for the hill, Miss Daphne gave him her kerchief, a token of her favor.
Let me guess, he never returned.
He did not. She stood here, day upon day, night upon night, trying to spy him.
Till she sprouted roots and turned into a tree? Wonder why.
I will fecking tell you why. To await the moment when Gareth returns, kerchief in hand. That is the power of love. The power of longing. So you must scale Lynx Crag. Search there for a means to free Daphne. I will give you my book of tales to refer to. And good luck, Witcher.
Alright, here we go. We're solving another fairy tale, basically. Bestiary entry, Daphne's Wrath. By the way, during that cutscene, I made more note of something. I couldn't really make it out from here exactly, but they had just the right camera angle. It's actually still really hard to see outside of the camera. Oh, especially when that happens. It's really hard to see when you're not in the cutscene, but we had this up angle here, and in just the right angle, it looked like you could see breasts just above the tree, and then right here, this weird twist of the bark that we see below me is like the two legs, and it looks like the axe plunged right into the stomach, basically. Yeah, you can see the vague shape of a woman here. It's a little hard to make out, especially with all the branches, but I think the lighting was a little bit different in that cutscene, because you could see, like, you could just straight up see cleavage right above the branches, and I was like, what? Let's look into our glossary. Spectres. Daphne's Wrath. During his stay in Toussaint, Geralt became involved with a curious case of gynodendromorphy. That is to say, a woman who had been turned into a tree. When one cut into this tree's bark, it bled, and when the wind blew through its leaves, one could hear muffled sobs. Geralt investigated the matter and learned magic, or possibly a curse, was responsible for the transformation, and it surely had something to do with a certain sad episode from the woman's past. The love of Daphne's life, a knight-errant, had gone to the Witch of Lynx Crag and never returned, leaving her to wait for him forever, filled with sadness and longing, vulnerable against specter oil. Sounds like we're going to be fighting a specter then. Which is weird. Why would I be fighting... I'll put it on anyway, because why not? I don't think there's any downsides to having an oil equipped at any given moment. Put Spectre on for now. Let's see. Can I find the document I just got that teaches me about the story? Unfortunately, my inventory of documents is horrifyingly dense at this point. Is that it? Nope, that's the document that gave me the quest in the first place. Tales and Fables. Sir Gareth and Miss Daphne loved each other so much it hurt. To win the approval of his future father-in-law, Gareth had to perform 7 challenges. The 7th was the hardest. Gareth had to go to Lynx Crag, find the witch who lived there and convince her to lift the drought that plagued the whole land. Everyone, including Daphne, pleaded with Geralt to humble himself before the witch. You see, the Witch of Lynx Crag was spiteful and headstrong, even for a witch, and only an act of true humility could break her icy heart. Gareth, however, had no intention of bending his knee before a witch. Instead, he planned to force her to lift the curse. Nobody knows what happened on Lynx Crag, but Gareth never returned to his beloved. Daphne stood on top of a hill and looked for him day and night. Finally, she turned into a tree, so that she may live to see the return of her knight. Such was the strength of her longing and the power of her love. Anyone who plunged his axe blade into the tree would see blood run from the wound. Folk started to avoid that place, leaving Daphne in peace to wait for Gareth. In time, all had forgotten about her. So he's got to be dead at this point, unless he's some sort of cursed creature that's immortal by comparison. It seems like the person himself would be long gone. Oops. Clicked on a few things while I was trying to find the book for that. It is not easy to find books in your inventory. I really need to just click on every single one of them to make them add to my quest log if they haven't been added already, and then just clear them into a separate storage that isn't my inventory. Yeah, it's becoming more and more of a problem. I will say a personal gripe of mine, and this is kind of baffling to me. Oh, it's not showing up right now. But normally, when you open this screen, this bottom bar of the screen right below this area will show you where new items are in your inventory, which is cool, because it helps you keep track of them. For some reason, though, you can't just click on them. That's weird to me. There's a little bar of items in the bottom of the screen. They had the forethought to put that there, but not the forethought, as far as I can tell, at least on a controller, to allow you to physically click on those objects. On a mouse, it might be more possible because you're not confined to whatever they map WASD, whatever they map directional buttons to. But yeah, on the controller, as far as I can tell, you just can't click on them. So you go through the agony sometimes of like, oh look, that's the new item I want to click on. All right, good to know it exists. Now to open my inventory, switch several tabs over, and then page through hundreds of items to find the exact one. Ah. And it's books, so they'll kind of look the same in many cases too, which isn't helpful. I should really be on a horse right now. Ah well. It's a nice day for a walk. Look at this. Okay, the water illusion's kind of falling apart a little bit. It looks better in that direction than it does in that direction, I'd say. The way that they texture the translucent nature of it. Still, this bubbling brook is a nice addition. That's a panther. Why is it always panthers? No. No panther. I'm going this way. Leave me alone, panther. Don't make me burn you horribly. You'll die horribly and in pain, having accomplished nothing, just so you know. So I'd really encourage you to not attack me. Seems like the way to go too. Did I skip past him? I think I did. Up. I think I made it without finding the panther. Nice. That is... Oh, that was Quen wearing off. I thought my medallion was shaking this time. Vibrating violently. So interestingly, the marker for this location was added to my map without me taking on the quest, which has the interesting side effect of like I could have potentially come up here and dealt with the witch situation without even knowing about Daphne.
A hut. The witches.
Might have been able to lead to a situation like the Slizer situation where I solve the quest without knowing it exists, then find out about it and like, oh yeah, I already took care of that. We're good. That'd be funny to me. Felt like I heard something moving around. Am I getting snuck up on? This area is weirdly heavy on panthers.
Hut looks inhabited. No sign of the dweller, though. Guess I'll look around.
Transmutation of bodies. That seems relevant to the transmuted body we have over there. The transmutation of bodies is one of the most difficult tasks any mage can undertake. Indeed, only the true masters of the art have ever accomplished it, and even they have only perfected one of its forms. This difficulty arises from psychophysical limitations, since a mage can only safely transform into an animal, with which he is perfectly attuned. A famous example is that of Ulf Blackbeard, who dwelled for years in a cave with a bear in order to imbibe the life essence of that animal. That panther, I saw them when I was walking in, and the panther didn't seem to attack me right away. I didn't really test the boundaries, but what if this mage is one of the panthers nearby? That'd be a fun twist, huh? Liber Evonis.
Liber Evonis. Conclave of Mages banned this tome.
I then came to a place known as Pnath Valley, in a world known as Shagai. The mind of man cannot comprehend this land. where non-geometric space and blasphemous colors fly in the face of everything our eyes are accustomed to. In that instant, in the moment of my arrival, I teetered on the verge of madness. I shouted a noiseless cry and sweat bloody sweat. When two suns arose above my head, I fell to my knees and prayed to Jothakao. Not for salvation, but for a quick death. And then they came. That's vaguely Lovecraftian sounding, isn't it? Go into a place that's incomprehensible and pray to unpronounceable names.
Warm. Smells inconclusive. No idea what ingredients are in there.
I wonder if I can track the smell? No. No clear evidence there.
Bones ground into dust.
Well, it's always a bad sign. This whole place is pretty much a bad sign, though. We have a hide up there, too. Remarks on the proper administration of yarrow.
Notes on the use of yarrow stems. Interesting.
That's very specific. Yarrow is first and foremost used for medicinal purposes. As mentioned above, when the leaves of this herb are placed against the flesh, they heal all kinds of trauma, wounds, and sores. Brew it, and the resulting tincture treats the common cold, colic, and loss of appetite. Yet, in addition to their healing properties, the branches of the yarrow plant can be used for fortune-telling. This method of divination might seem strange upon first glance, but it is, in truth, simple and effective. It truly allows one to focus on the query at hand and gain an answer both accurate and satisfying. Huh. It's fortune-telling, of course, but like some of those vague comments almost sounded vaguely like Adderall. But I guess they're just talking about the clarity of how well it works at telling the future. But the comments about the clarity and the focus kind of sidetracked me a second there about it potentially being something else. Hello, a way to create new dye colors. I'll gladly collect more of those. I feel like I'm gonna look at this and a panther's gonna jump into the window and attack me.
A wall of spell enhancements, or trophies.
That's the kerchief we need.
Arrow, broken in half. No doubt to bring bad luck to the archer. Branch off a grapevine. Could be to ensure a good harvest, or a bad one. Doll looks like an accessory for casting curses. Silk kerchief, monogrammed DF. Could use it to break the curse if it's Daphne's.
None but feral cats stray in here most oft, yet it seems I've guessed from afar at that. What do you seek in my home?
Already found it.
You do not aim to lift the curse from the tree, girl, do you?
What if I do?
Then you had best know you waste your time. The old tales? Did your Nan not tell them to you? Even I, the witch of Lynx Crag, would be hard-pressed to overcome the power of love and longing.
The Lady's Night. You ever make it here?
Sir Gareth. Yes. He came to sway me, but had a quick change of heart. To be precise, it came after the first night we spent together. He stayed a fair while. Then his conscience got the better of him, and he resolved to return to his beloved.
Might have resolved to, but never made it.
A tragic fate befell him along the way.
You have anything to do with this turn of fate?
Of course. Was I to let another woman have a man who belonged to me? I could not abide it.
What if I asked you nicely to lift the curse, please?
Gareth met the fate he deserved. And what happened to his wench was not my fault.
Alright, so you didn't cast the curse. But could you help lift it?
I probably could. But why ever would I?
I'll humble myself, prostrate myself before you like the Geralt of the Tale did. I beseech you to help me. Lift the curse that imprisoned Daphne in the tree.
When I saw you enter my hut, I thought, now there is a fellow who shall bend his neck for no one. Stand. None. Not even I can restore to the last the years she has lost, can erase the suffering she has endured. We cannot bring her back to life, but I shall tell you how you might let her depart in peace. Yet my aid shall have its price. A lock of your hair.
How can I know you won't use it to cast a spell on me?
I require this. I must, for with it I will cast a spell to conceal me from you for all time, and will use it for nothing else. You will nag me never again, and you've nothing to fear, I assure you. I always keep my word.
I'll trust you against my better judgment. Lock of my hair's yours.
Splendid.
What do I need to do?
You must convince the maiden her beloved yearned to return, but perished in the attempt. Take her silk kerchief and a fragment of Gareth's remains. His bones lie bleaching in the cave beneath this rock. Fire must consume the kerchief and remains. And remember, your heart, your intentions must be pure. Clear?
Yeah. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. And adieu. Once you walk out that door, never shall we meet again.
And poof. Oh, it's locked. I just wanted to see the evidence of it being hidden away. Alright, well I've got something to work with now. That's helpful. She's a spiteful, awful person probably, and she's probably even dangerous, but people know already to stay the hell away, because there's been enough stories at this point. And rather work on restoring somebody else's fate than dealing with a witch that people already know to stay away from. After all, not, in fact... Oh god. Witchers do not exist for the exclusive purpose of killing witches. That's a misconception with their weird name. I'm here to kill the animals and beasts, although I've dealt with my fair share of witches, too. One way or another. Yep. Hello? Aw, wolves. Look at them go. They're so fluffy. Alright. This seems to be my way in. Cramped little cave, isn't it? Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Insect warriors are back. Alright. Putting that away real quick. Hi. Oh. Careful with the fire. Oh, under attack. Constant problematic attack. Ow. Yep. Quick barrier. I'd like to cast in just the right direction to pop some of these eggs if I can. Unfortunately, I can only cast towards enemies, even when I want to cast them my attacks towards other things. The big one's about to go down at least. Fire is very effective in this situation. Thank God. The main ones? Alright, let's get to the eggs quickly. Before they hatch or something. We wouldn't want that. Got him? Melting animation is just gross. Ugh. It's just convincing enough. Should be good to go now. That was a lot of poison they inflicted on me, because I don't even have my decoction activated right now. That was all them. Those will all be useful crafting materials, though. So where's his body remaining? Oh, I can gather from these, oh, those are mushrooms, never mind. Thought it was something else for a moment. Now there's a sword I can use.
A knight's plate armor and some bones. Gareth's remains. These them. Wonder why the armor came apart. Magic? Or he'd just fall from a height. Gotta get back to the tree. Lift the curse.
Oh, there's a hole. That's rough. Seems like it may have fallen from that cliff then. Shouldn't have cheated on your girlfriend, wife. You betrayed her love. Her love was so strong she was willing to wait for you forever. And you went and turned on that just because you met a sexy witch? That's not very nice. That's not good at all. How could you? Am I outrunning those wolves? I'd like to. I just feel bad whenever I have to burn a pack of wolves to death, because they just sit there and writhe, because they're just... Four-legged creatures are useless against being on fire. That's one of the horrible visuals. What was it? I think it was a movie or something where I saw it was like a horse or a deer that was on fire, and all it's doing is just sprinting at full speed in any direction, because it's literally the only action it knows to take, but that doesn't help. It's still burning, but now it's running and burning, and that's it. Then similarly, you could light a wolf on fire, and it just kind of spins around in circles, slowly hopping around. Everything hurts. So I'd prefer not to, if I can avoid it.
So? You met the witch. You must have. What did you learn?
That witch? She's not near as bad as folks say. Made me bow and scrape, sure. But I know some sorceresses witchier than her.
Joyous bleeding news, but what about Daphne?
I can lift the curse, free her, by performing a ritual, making a sacrifice of her kerchief and Gareth's remains. But we gotta start at the right time. When the hour comes, I'll light 4 fires for the 4 winds, then begin the ritual.
Fires? Then I shall be of use to you after all. Seems you need wood. Much of it.
Chop as much as you can. I'll see to the rest.
It's gonna be a bittersweet freeing, because we're not exactly bringing her back.
I've chopped and stacked the wood. What now?
My turn. Gotta light fires and talk to the woman enchanted in the tree. No idea how this'll turn out, so just in case, stand at a distance. And if you see me draw my sword, run.
Oh, this could be where that phantom we were talking about comes into play. Oops, didn't mean to open the map. Let's make sure that that oil's prepared just in case. A fresh coat. And a fresh hop! Haha! Didn't really mean to do that. Alright. Light the southern fire.
Look your last to the world's 4 winds. From the south, not a word. From the east, no cry is heard. From the north, silent sighs. West, peer hollow eyes. Cease your vigil. Dead he lies. Hear me, you who hide beneath this bark. The day of your freedom has come. Behold a kerchief. Proof of your love for another. Behold, the bone of he to whom you offered your love.
Gareth, my Gareth, he shall never return.
No, he won't.
Is his love for me gone? Did he stay true?
You said my intentions have to stay pure. Damn it. I don't know what to do here. Do I spare her feelings? But then does she sense my lack of honesty? That specific line about my intentions remaining pure seems important. I feel like I've got to stick with my gut here. It might break her, but it might be the only way to free her.
Gareth broke his vow, failed to stay faithful.
Man is built of mud and filth, milady, and is like to blunder, we all are.
How cruel is the world to render conferring one's love so hard?
But what would the world be without love?
The time comes that I depart. I've waited too long. I've suffered too much, and now I wish to go.
Farewell, milady.
I thank you, stranger. And you, my knight. I thank you for speaking to me, for standing vigil at my feet.
I did not think it would end this way. I hoped we could revive her, but I guess it was not to be.
We did all we could.
You did well. Here, your pay. And the book is yours as well.
Thanks. Take care of yourself.
So long, Witcher. I must think. Put this straight in my head.
Interesting. I wonder if he'll come up again later in some capacity. The wolf just feels like a loose end. Oh, wolf's running around a little bit. Whoa. That was weird. He charged around and growled a little bit. I kind of ran into a fire, which was a little awkward. I guess we're just going to leave these uncontrolled flames around next to all the dry wood, because people have been actively... Can I put it out? Oh, cool, I can. This is called responsibility, motherfucker. Seriously, they're cutting... It's a logging camp. There's dry wood everywhere. It's not just, like, wet grass that's all alive and lively. Like, this type of wildlife here is actually probably unlikely to catch fire. Well, I don't know. We have hot weather around here that might be pretty dry, but at the same time, I think we... I don't know, are we seaside? It might be moist around here, but the plants all the plant life here is very alive and doesn't seem very dry, so it probably doesn't burn that well. But we're in a logging camp where there's tons of dry wood everywhere because it's being they're killing trees, and that would likely catch fire if it's spread around. So it's good that I can quell that a bit. Really though, we're done? Just like that? I was just so sure that wolf would come up again in some capacity. It just seems like such a... He's named. His name's Morholt.